A-E-1 Source.
Hi, my name is Jun Kawai. I'm a designer and artist. Yeah, I went to study architecture in college because it all started with what I like about design was fashion. So when I was in Japan, I always thought about I wasn't like fitting in right, and then I always wanted to do something different than other people. And then when I went to Canada or US, especially in New York, everyone's like doing their individual things. And then I think that's like super beautiful thing that I don't really see in Japan. And then that kind of influenced my work with preciseness of Japanese way, and then also mixing with the American kind of, like just do whatever you want. So that's like how my kind of work comes together. Right now I'm working on two exhibitions coming up in Los Angeles. One is the creative production called Sekai's Gallery, and the other one is with the clothing brand called Apartment 4B. So that's gonna be my first two shows coming up. And then what else am I working on? So I'm working on the set designs. I recently did some album covers, and also that's like, I guess TV show. That's like what I'm working on right now. And just living in LA right now. So I was always curious about that kind of field since I did architecture, and I really liked about the interior design and stuff. And after my master's program for the industrial design, I was luckily getting into those set design through my friend. And it's great. It's really different than what I designed for architecture or like furniture, since what they make is really quick and make it look nice rather than like thinking about the details. They try to make it look nice on the video. So it's like a new experience of like how to kind of build something. So when I was doing architecture, it was like I need to work with like many people, and it takes a time. But when I do furniture, I can do it by my own, and I can think about the details by my own also. So I can think about those details, and then on the way to get to the end of the process, I can think about different things like materiality to how I should think about the joinery. Since I'm Japanese, I'm like trying to use those like traditional Japanese kind of way of making furniture. So that's like what I'm like really interested into, like a maker furniture. So my favorite piece is the room divider, the shoji that I made. So usually the shoji, the room divider, is using for like dividing the rooms or kind of dividing people. But the Japanese paper washi is translucent, so the lights still go through. So it's like kind of threshold, but like it's not completely separating. But it's separating the two places still. But my idea for the shoji was that I wanted to, instead of separating the people in the room, I wanted to connect people with room and then space together. So I started to research about the Japanese paper washi because they usually just make it flat, and then how clean and preciseness of the Japanese paper is the key for the Japanese paper washi. But then instead of that, I tried to make it like a new form of Japanese paper. So I tried to make it like 3D form, which can catch people's eyes, or even people doesn't know about the design, they get curious about it. So they get close to the divider that I make, and they try to touch it, or like, what does it feel like, or like, what is it made out of? So like, from the both sides of the Japanese shoji, people can interact to my kind of design. That's like idea of it. I always love to collaborate with people to do something with my work. So usually, let's say the piece at the gallery is standing itself. But then, since I did architecture, I'm imagining in different type of kind of environment. So the shoji piece, I'm imagining people who is doing like making a music video, like, graphic design. Like, I want people to like project their work That could be one way to use it. Or it can be at the restaurants to like welcome people. Or like, it can be at someone's house also. So like I'm just like open to kind of anyone how to use it. Yeah, I went to study architecture in college because it all started with what I like about design was fashion. That was the beginning. But then when I was in high school, like, trying to see different fashion designer and everything, at the time I see like some of the clothing brand comes up really big and it just fades away right away. And when I met the book by Tadao Ando, I really liked about how his career is. He was the boxer and didn't go to any school. Just, get into a different type of school and I learn about architecture and he's making like beautiful stuff. And after I'm reading that book, I just thought about architecture stands for like 30, 50 years. And depending on the people like who uses the space, it completely changes. And I thought that's like really beautiful. And yeah, I just decided to go with architecture rather than fashion design. Rather than thinking about the structure, I always really liked about thinking about how people uses the space and what people see, how they feel. That's like what I really cared the most. So, like people think about structure and how the building stands a lot. But then my presentation was always about what people sees and how they feel. And I think that shows to my current projects right now, like how people feels and then what kind of environment that I can make with my piece in it. So that's like, yeah, I think the journey is still continuing from the architecture. Where I'm from Fukuoka in Japan, my city, my area of the town wasn't really, like nice area. So my parents wanted me to go to the private school for junior high school and high school. So I took a test and I got into one of the school in Fukuoka. But, one day after I was on the soccer team and I was waiting for the bus like every day. And I just like realized that, am I going to do this for like another 6 years? Like, I don't want to be here. Like, just like, play soccer, study, go to McDonald's and then karaoke afterwards. And I couldn't like hold it. So, and yeah, I went home and I spoke with my dad. And then, yeah, we just got into the big fight about you just got into the school and you just want to leave already. And then, next week after basically, how the big tickets were? The flight tickets were before, like, the pile of the papers. So he just like threw me that at the dinner table basically. And then telling me like, hey, I got a ticket. I was like, well, tickets for what? And he's like, oh, you're going to Australia. And then, like I was 12 or 13, but I'm a man. Like I was thinking I'm a man. So like I couldn't like, like pull back anything. So I was like, okay, I'm going. So, and then another week, I'm just going to Australia. Then I didn't know any English because I didn't study at all at school. And the only thing that I knew was, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. That's all. My name is Jun. But that's all I needed, basically. Like, I made a lot of friends there. And I was supposed to be at those international classes, but I didn't like it. So I just sneaked out to go to my host family's brother's, classrooms and then take a class together, and which I don't understand anything. But, like, I just loved being in that environment. And what I saw there was really free. I felt really free, and then like how everyone was happy. And I was like, I just need to be here, like not Japan. So yeah, and after that, I went back to Japan. Like kind of, my dad forced me to go back to Japan, and then I told him I wanna just go back to Australia. But then he was like, since you're Japanese, you need to know about Japan a little bit. So just stay a little bit longer, and if you feel like you want to go, like you can go maybe later on. And then when I was 15, I still remember the same conversation with my dad. And then this is the interesting one too. So that conversation happened in end of July, and I went to talk to those study abroad counselors, and since all the semester starts September in US or Canada, they told me to you need to go right away. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose the 1 year. So once I went to talk to them, after 2 weeks, I was already in Canada for high school. And then that's kind of my journey started. Well, in the beginning, it was really hard. Like, I miss all my Japanese friends and family. I was like crying, calling my family, telling them that I want to go back. But I'm saying that I want to go back, but in my mind, I don't want to go back. I know that I need to stay because I made the decision. And, I learned I need to kind of keep pushing myself to make it to where I want to be. So for high school, I didn't want to take a international student English class because I just wanted to be with Canadian friends, just like them. So even though I don't know any English, I took all the Canadian English classes, and I failed so many times. So I took all summer classes until graduation, but somehow I made it. But it's like, if you keep trying, something good is gonna happen, and that's how I kind of keep going my style right now. Yeah. So I went to a school called New York Institute of Technology, NYT, and that was in second year, and I was really busy over there. But then at the same time, I couldn't. Since I'm in New York, I see so many fashionable people, and then I couldn't pull back my love for fashion. And then, I see people making clothing brand, and then my friends doing the brands, and I was like, I want to do it too. But I'm stuck at this architecture. But I couldn't hold it back. So I started my clothing brand with my friends. And then, we just keep making it on the side. And there was a point that I could do show and the exhibition in Tokyo. I got a chance to do the show in Tokyo, but it's in Tokyo, it's not New York. And I'm like, how architecture is very busy. You can't take it off, right? So I just pretend hey, I got food poisoning, and then I can't really get out of bed, and then it might take a week. And the next day, I just flew to Tokyo, do the show, just party hard, come back drunk here, and went back to architecture life. And that was great. It's it was, there was so many things to figure it out because I'm doing architecture and fashion and Japan and New York. But it's still one of the greatest memory that I have from school. Well, it's not school things, but it was like a gallery. But then, we did a kind of showcase gallery shows, and then people came to see our work. But I knew some people who is DJing in Japan and blah blah blah. So basically, the fashion thing turned into the party in the end, and then. It was great. Everyone loved it. And ended up, some pieces we couldn't make it because the cost of making was really expensive, and I was in school. But the funny thing was, once my piece got onto the Hypebeast, some people copied it. So basically made the bootleg version. And the artist Machine Gun Kelly, he wore it at the late night show. And also Japanese talents on the TV was wearing the pieces that we made. And we only made 4 pieces, which we all, our crew has. But it was all over the place. I saw a Coachella, Governor's Ball, on the TV. So my friends thought we made it, basically. So congratulations, I saw this on TV or whatever. And I'm like, no, we didn't make it. It was just a sample. But but that's one of the good experience of learning. if you want to make it, you need to go for it. So that's what I learned from it. Yeah.
AE1 short.
At Sometime Somewhere is produced by Audio-Technica for AT1 Radio. It is recorded at AT1 Studio at Technica House, New York. Follow AT1 Radio and Audio-Technica USA on all social media platforms. Thanks for listening.